The movie Meangirls is without a doubt a cult classic, and given that a new version of the film hit theaters earlier this year, I thought it'd be fun to explore the film's most iconic character in Regina George. And Regina does serve as an entertaining antagonist that you kinda just love to hate, but I think it may be even more interesting to analyze her psyche. We are first introduced to Regina through the eyes of Janice as she says, "Evil takes human form" in Regina George, and that she's the queen bee, the star. And this bold statement is immediately followed by a series of confessionals from students giving their Regina thoughts and opinions, and each one is more ridiculous than the next, talking about how she met John Stamos and how she punched one of the students in the face, only for them to enjoy it. It's pretty clear that some of, or perhaps even most of these stories are likely made up, but the fact that they exist throughout the school establishes Regina as the coolest and most popular girl in school, hands down. And we get to slowly learn more about Regina as Katie attempts to infiltrate the social clique known as the Plastics, and well, Janice was pretty on point. We quickly realize that Regina does not like when others experience happiness or success without her, which is on full display when she sees her ex-boyfriend Jason at the mall on a date, as she calls the mom of Jason's date claiming to be from Planned Parenthood, which of course puts an abrupt end to their date. So when Katie tells the other Plastics that she has a crush on Aaron, they emphatically tell Katie she is not allowed to date him because he is also Regina's ex. But once Regina finds out about Katie's little crush on Aaron, she actually doesn't get upset. Rather, she does something far more despicable. At a Halloween party, within eyesight of Katie, Regina begins bad-mouthing her and just making up random creepy details about her crush to Aaron, and then proceeds to make out with him. But Regina doesn't stop here. She starts dating Aaron again, just so she can rub it in Katie's face any chance she gets. This naturally leads to retaliation from Katie, but more on that later because it is time to talk about the burn book. And the burn book is crazy. I mean, cutting out other girls' pictures just to shit talk them is wild. But I think this actually gets to the heart of who Regina George is as a character. She's extremely uncertain about who she is outside of the context of this school, and she puts others down to feel better about her own insecurities. She doesn't want Jason back, she just wants to ruin his happy little date now that he's not with Regina. And with Aaron, it's less about wanting him back and more about just wanting to put Katie in her place. Essentially, Regina's a mean girl. Props to whoever titled this movie. We also see this behavior perpetuated elsewhere, as Regina also has a knack for only complimenting people on things that she actually doesn't like, in the hopes that they'll keep wearing ugly things and she can in turn feel better about her own style. In fact, Gretchen eventually reveals that Regina has literally outlawed her from wearing certain clothing items, just because Regina doesn't want Gretchen to outshine her. Towards the midpoint of the film, we see that in Katie's effort to infiltrate the Plastics and take them down from the inside out, she accidentally becomes the very thing she wanted to destroy, as she essentially replaces Regina as the head of the Plastics for a brief period of time. And this, in a weird way, kinda gives us a better glimpse into Regina's psyche, through seeing Katie struggle to do her best Regina impression, as she is not nearly as good at hiding her backstabbing and manipulation, which lets us know that Regina has probably subtly manipulated students, teachers, and pretty much everyone in her life more times than she could possibly keep track of. So seeing Katie struggle to manipulate people in the way that Regina does just shows us how great Regina is at controlling others. It's second nature for her, and at her core, she's truly a Plastic through and through. But perhaps Regina's greatest backstabbery comes when she adds herself to the burn book and leaks it to the entire school. This naturally puts the other three Plastics as the prime suspects, as they're the only three not in the book now. And this sends the school into complete disarray, and it is very clear that Regina simply revels in the madness. But towards the end of the film, after learning of Katie's plan to infiltrate the Plastics and systematically take down the queen bee of the school, Regina is so pissed that she quite literally gets hit by a bus while yelling at Katie. I mean, she was so blind by anger that she couldn't see a bus coming for her. And while this is a shocking and admittedly kind of funny moment, I think it captures the main problem that Regina has, and that is that she doesn't have a healthy outlet for her anger. So she either manipulates and terrorizes people, or just flat out berates them when her anger boils over. And this is not a healthy lifestyle to lead, not for Regina, nor any of her countless victims. But at the close of the film, we see that Regina has recovered from her getting ran over by bus injuries, and has taken up sports as a new outlet for her anger, which is definitely a much healthier way of letting it out, and hopefully signals growth and change within the former Queen Bee. All in all, Regina George, underneath all of her flashy fashion, manipulation tactics, and witty dialogue, is a character who is actually extremely insecure. Even with an entire school to sing her praises and spread around made-up stories telling all her glory, Regina still felt the need to lash out and put others down. So hopefully that bus knocks some sense into her, and sports are continuing to provide her with the proper outlet for all of her pent-up aggression. Because fetch definitely should have happened. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video taking a look at the psychology of Regina George, please feel free to drop a like or subscribe. And if you have any strong Regina George or Meangirls thoughts, please let me know in the comments. Until next time, peace.